What would you do if the woman you loved, the mother of your children, walked in at 4 a.m., smelling of cheap perfume and lies, her best dress crumpled, and a smirk playing on her lips? The night everything broke was a Tuesday. I was pretending to sleep, my phone screen illuminating the ceiling, a silent witness to the betrayal I already felt in my bones. She'd said it was a girls' night out, but the way she avoided my gaze, the hurried shower, the hushed phone call she took on the balcony at dawn, it all screamed a different story. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic drumbeat of impending doom. I knew with a chilling certainty that my life was about to shatter, and I had no idea how to pick up the pieces. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation hit me first, a physical blow. It wasn't just the act, it was the disrespect, the casual cruelty of it all. For weeks, I'd noticed the subtle shifts. Her phone, once left carelessly, was now glued to her hand. Late-night texts would make her smile, a private, knowing smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. She started spending more on clothes, on salon visits, claiming it was for self-care, but the glow in her eyes wasn't from a facial, it was from a secret. The slow discovery was a descent into a personal hell. One rainy afternoon, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed with a notification. A text from a contact saved his work buddy. My hands trembled as I opened it. Can't stop thinking about last night. Gorgeous. Same time next week at the Edison in Dallas? It's the Edison. A boutique hotel I'd never heard of. My stomach churned. I scrolled further, finding a string of increasingly intimate messages, photos, and plans. The girls' nights were rendezvous. The work trips were extended weekends with him. His name, I learned, was Mark, a smug, self-satisfied man from her office, whose LinkedIn profile I now obsessively stalked. He looked exactly like the kind of man who thought he was untouchable. As the first pieced together the timeline, she became colder, more manipulative. She'd gaslight me, twisting my concerns into accusations of insecurity. "You're being paranoid, John. I'm just busy with work." Her voice, once a comfort, now dripped with condescension. She'd leave her phone just out of reach, daring me to look, knowing I wouldn't, or couldn't, yet. The arrogance was palpable. She truly believed she was getting away with it, that I was too blind, too trusting, too much of a fool to see. There were nights I just sat in the dark, staring at the ceiling of our beautiful home in Los Angeles, the one we'd built together, and felt an emptiness. So profound it threatened to swallow me whole. I cried until I had no tears left. I screamed into pillows, until my throat was raw. My loyal heart, once so full of love for her, was shattered into a million irreparable pieces. I was broken, utterly and completely. But in that brokenness, a cold, hard resolve began to form. The pain was a furnace, forging a new me, a strategic, ruthless version I never knew existed. I started gathering proof, meticulously, silently, installed a discreet camera in her car, capturing her clandestine meetings in a parking garage near her office in downtown Miami. I hired a private investigator, a quiet man named Frank, who provided irrefutable photographic evidence of her and Mark entering and leaving hotels, including the Edison in Dallas and a small, nondescript motel off a highway in New York. I copied every incriminating text, every email, every financial transaction that pointed to her lavish spending on her affair. I consulted with a divorce attorney, a sharp woman named Ms. Davies, who laid out the legal landscape for me. "John," she said, "we can make this very painful for her." The traps were set with surgical precision. I waited until her promotion was finalized, until her reputation at work was at its peak. I waited until her parents, who adored me, were visiting. I waited until the annual company gala, a black tie event she'd been planning for months, where she was to receive an award. The night of the gala, I had everything ready. The divorce papers, detailing every infidelity, every lie, every penny spent on Mark, were filed that morning. A discreet email containing a link to a cloud drive filled with all the evidence was scheduled to go out to her entire company, including the CEO, precisely at 9 p.m. At the gala, she looked radiant, oblivious. Mark was there too, his eyes lingering on her a little too long. At 9:05 p.m., as she stood on stage, accepting her award, her phone, which I had subtly swapped for a burner phone I controlled, buzzed with a notification. Then, the whispers started. People checking their phones, faces paling, eyes darting between her and Mark. The CEO, a stern man, received the email. On his tablet, his jaw tightening as he scrolled, the room went silent, save for the frantic tapping of fingers on screens. Her face, once beaming, slowly drained of color as she saw the horrified expressions, the judgment in their eyes. The public exposure was brutal. She was fired the next day, her career in ruins. Her parents, after seeing the evidence, disowned her, their disappointment a crushing weight. The divorce proceedings were swift and merciless. Ms. Davies ensured she lost everything: the house, the savings, even her beloved car. Mark, the smug affair partner, was also fired, his own marriage dissolving in a spectacular public scandal. He was, as I suspected, a coward, disappearing from the city, leaving her to face the fallout alone. She was completely ruined, a pariah, her carefully constructed life crumbling to dust around her. I saw her once, months later, walking alone down a desolate street in a forgotten part of Queens, New York. Her best dress was long gone, replaced by ill-fitting clothes, her face etched with a weariness that went beyond physical exhaustion. She didn't see me. I drove past a ghost in her ruined life. There was no triumph, no joy, only a profound, chilling emptiness. The silence of her destruction was deafening. The end.